Hello, Michael here with another Michael's Guitar Reviews, and today we're going to do a comparative review between two very similar guitars. One of them is the Fender jazz bass. This one's made in Mexico. It's a standard jazz bass, and the other one is the Squier Classic Vibe 70s edition jazz bass. And I thought it'd be interesting to do a comparison between the two and just see what we find. So let's start by looking at the guitars. They are considered individually in separate reviews, so if you'd like to see a review of a specific one, then they're on the channel, so just have a look for those. But this is a comparative review, and so we have. Let's have a little look at the basics first, shall we? Headstock designs are clearly very different. The Mexican jazz bass has got the standard jazz bass headstock. The Classic Vibe has a larger headstock, more reminiscent of the 70s. I want to stay at the headstock end just for a moment, because one of the things that's worth thinking about is what kind of quality is the hardware of these guitars. Now, at first glance, they look pretty similar. However, when we go close, let's turn this one around. What do you notice? Do you notice anything? Well, let's take a close look at the gears. The gears on the Classic Vibe are considerably lighter and thinner than those on the jazz bass that's made in Mexico. If we look at the gearing here, this is probably twice the bulk of this one. And I would imagine, although they work in very similar ways and they feel pretty similar, given the bulk on this one, I would expect perhaps it might be made for heavier duty wear. So it could possibly be that the one in the Mexican jazz bass is likely to be a more substantial, stronger version than the Classic Vibe. The other obvious difference is that you can see just the shape of the bottom of the plate. Otherwise, very similar. The thumb parts are exactly the same shape and they work the same. So, going down a little bit, neck profiles very similar. What I would say is that the Classic Vibe neck profile, this one, is very much a C shape, and the neck itself is gloss finished. Now, not everybody likes gloss finish because it does tend to be a little bit resistant to hand movement, especially if you've got a little bit of perspiration on your hands. The Mexican jazz bass, by contrast, is also C profile, but it feels as if there's a bit of flattening as you go along the neck. The finish is a satin finish, so you don't tend to get the same amount of resistance or stickiness that you get with a gloss finish. Each of these guitars has a maple fingerboard, and there are obvious cosmetic differences. I don't need to go into details about that, you can see for yourself. As far as the finish is concerned, the nuts are both cut very precisely. The strings fit exactly as they should over the nut. They've both got string trees. They're both very similar in dimensions throughout the guitar. The Classic Vibe one does have a slight prominence on one of the frets, but otherwise absolutely fine all the way down. Really nice. In terms of the body weight, the Classic Vibe does feel very slightly lighter, but there's not much in it. The pickups are one thing that we're going to have to focus on, because when it comes to listening to the sound, that's something we can make some decisions about, because there is a difference. Just looking at the bridges, the Classic Vibe has a relatively straightforward, lightweight bridge by comparison, whereas the Mexican one has a more chunky, heavier duty bridge, and the string saddles appear to be more robust and a better quality as well, and they're on a little channel so that the adjusting screws sit into a channel. The hardware in terms of the rotary controls for volume and tone feel identical. They look identical and they act in an identical way. The same applies to the rest of the hardware. The pick guards, scratch plate, whatever you want to call them, look very similar. The Mexican one looks like it might be slightly thicker in density than the one on the Classic Vibe, but otherwise everything else looks very similar. Body shape, body size, all very, very similar. So now that we know what the hardware looks like and what differences there are in the hardware, let's have a listen and see what do they sound like. I'm going to do this by playing each one, selecting the pickups in exactly the same way, going through the same amplifier with the same setting. And you'll be able to compare these side by side, and then we'll consider what the verdict is about which one of these is the better one. Here we go. Okay, starting with the sound, I'm going to do the same for both guitars. We've got both pickups selected on full volume, and we've got the tone control fully round to the treble side. Let's see what that sounds like first of all on the Classic Vibe, and then we'll compare it to the Mexican jazz bass. Here we go. Again, here we go. This time we have the Mexican jazz bass, both pickups selected for full and the tone control fully round to the treble side. Let's turn the tone control with both pickups selected on full, but turn the tone control round fully anti-clockwise to give us a more bassy sound. Here we go. Okay, let's bring that tone control now all the way around to the bassy side. Still got both pickups on full. Staying with the tone control fully on the bass side, let's turn the bridge pickup fully off and leave just the center or neck pickup on full. And this is with the bassier sound. So this time, just the front pickup and leaving it on the bassier setting. Okay, staying on the bass setting for the tone control, we're turning the bridge pickup all the way off and just having the center or neck pickup. Let's turn off the centre pickup or neck pickup and bring in the bridge pickup. Again, we've got the controls set fully for bass, and then we'll go around to the treble setting. So this is just the bridge pickup with the bass setting for tone. Let's turn off the centre pickup and just bring the bridge pickup on all the way around to full volume, and we've still got the tone control set to the bassier side. Let's now turn that same control all the way around, the tone control, so that it's on the treble setting, again just on the bridge pickup. And now let's turn the tone control all the way around to the treble side, just with the bridge pickup. So what's the verdict? Well, two very nice guitars, both very well made, both have a wide range of sounds, but the sounds are different. The classic vibe pickups seem to produce more volume, and the amount of variety in tone is very wide. As far as the hardware is concerned, most of it is very similar, except with the exception of the gearing at the back of the tuners, and in this case a much more dense bridge with better quality bridge saddles, and the little grooves in which the bridge saddle adjusting screws can run up and down to stop them from moving from side to side. Both very nice guitars, I have to say. Similar in weight, similar in feel. Depending on whether you prefer a glossy neck or a satin finish neck will be a big consideration, because obviously if you're playing the guitar for any length of time it needs to feel comfortable, and not everybody likes glossy neck finishes. I have to say I much prefer the satin finish myself, and as far as the neck is concerned on the Mexican one, there is that slight and extremely subtle feeling of it being ever so slightly flatter along the back, which is very comfortable indeed. But overall quality for both of them, very good. Either of these will produce a really good sound, and either of them will be very good working guitars. So overall conclusion, I guess, if the prices of them both were the same, I'd probably go for the Mexican one. So the Mexican guitars tend to be about twice the price, maybe even a little bit more than the classic vibes. Now, whether or not that's good value for money, I think it depends very much on what you want to use the guitar for. If it's home use and recording and you want good sounds, either of them. If you want something that's going to be good to take out on the road, either of them. However, if you want something that's likely to be a little bit more robust in the longer term, given the gears on the Mexican and given the quality of the bridge, which is definitely a lot better on the Mexican, then that's your choice. So two nice guitars. Overall, it's a difficult one, but yeah, I think overall this is a lot more expensive, the Mexican one. Whether it's worth it, whether in fact you would be better off buying a classic vibe if you like the sound of the classic vibe, and in time simply changing the tuners over for some more substantial ones, which would be reasonably cost effective and very easy to do. And same token, you could do the same with the bridge as well. So, you know, that would be a big cost saving. It would allow you to make the guitar your own. It would give you longer term, better durability. And it's bespoke, and it's original, and it's unusual, and it's yours. So there we are. Michael's guitar reviews. Thank you so much again for watching. I always love it when I know that people are watching these videos. I really want to ask you to subscribe because, again, the more subscribers we get, the more the channel is going to grow, more people are going to get access to the videos and share these lovely guitars. I always value your constructive comments and feedback, and I'll do my very best to respond to them. In the meantime, thank you so much again, and happy playing. Bye for now.